What's good, family? I am so excited to be back in the photo booth. Thank you, Joseph Williams, for reaching out to me. He sent me a message, a Facebook inbox message, and he said, "Hey, I hadn't seen you online in a minute, so just calling to check in." And so that's how I know Joseph is proof that I clearly have been a decent person for a lot of years now. He met me when I was 9, and I'm now 50. So I am like an amazing person because my friend from ever since I was 9 years old, who's actually my little boyfriend, my mama knew, and that's why she was always mad at him. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so here's what's going on. It's adult story time. After hashtag the bounce back RDU, I had so much fun. And thank you for all of the love and all of the support. Everyone who shared that event, who showed up, who posted comments, who shared. I got a ton of love for that event, and my storytellers were amazing. Cannot wait to do that event live. Here's what happened after that, though. I had been really thinking about sort of the next series of things that are coming, and they are all amazing, and how I have been praying for wisdom, for the spirit of discernment, and the courage to act on what I discern. That's been a prayer of mine for a lot of years. And so by the grace of God, those things are starting to materialize. And now I have to be very, very, very careful about some things, and I'm super excited and, not nervous. I start my day every day with a prayer walk, and in that prayer walk is at sunrise, and I'm praying out loud, and I'm like just reminding myself who God is to me, who God is in the universe, who I am to God. And, so at the end of the day, I start the day centered. So it's all good in the neighborhood. I've cast my lots in the right place. But one of the things that I wanted to do that was what I felt like was more spiritually significant was something that I learned about when I was in seminary. I had a friend who was he was a West African pastor, and he used to perform ritual baths. And when I first got to seminary, most of you know, I had just terminated a love project that I thought would last, and that bullshit didn't. And so here I am in school, I'm in seminary, and I am trying to, I'm trying to keep it moving, in a healthy space. And so I'm learning about all of these spiritual practices. And one of the ones that I came across was, again, my West African friend told me about the ritual bath. And he said that he used to perform it. I was like, okay, yo, perform it on me. He was like, Lex, you got to do the ritual bath naked. And I just don't think I can be holy while you naked. And so I blessed him for his integrity, because a lot, and I can't say a lot of folks would be like, okay, yeah, let me go ahead and get you in that ritual bath real quick. He didn't do that. He was not a sleaze. He was a good guy. But I had been thinking a lot about the ritual bath, and how I personally enjoy rituals. I enjoy practices. I enjoy what we call sacred theater. I enjoy icons and symbols, and things that I can do, tactile things that I can do that remind me of my connection to something that's larger than me. It's like I am very much plugged into what God is doing to heal the world, and is using my gifts to do that. So I'm grateful, and I appreciate ritual practices that remind me of that key into that. So the ritual bath was, just felt like a natural fit. But he was like, I ain't gonna do it. So fast forward, graduate, seminary, leave, and kind of going on and on. And for whatever reason, during the pandemic, I started to think about healthy practices, like what are some really good rituals. And I formed a meditation group based on Audre Lorde's teachings, based on her speeches, her essays. The group is called Transforming Silence into Language and Action Meditation Group. And so we have we do 7 days on. Like 7 days of intentional, specific things, but using her quotes. And so that has been a really, really good group. And so I felt like the next thing would be to introduce ritual baths into the practice. So I called up my friend, and I was like, yo, can I, how can I get this ritual bath done? Is there anyone in my area? I'm out on the East Coast now. Where do I go for the ritual bath? And he said, well, like, you can actually do it for yourself. And so he was asking, like, kind of, what are you looking to do? And I was like, listen, I want a, not a clearing, but just more of a sort of like I want to mark the occasion. The ritual bath will be a mark of sorts of, like, yes, I acknowledge that I have done amazing things thus far, and yet there are even greater things that are coming. And I just want to be sure that my health, my spirit, my psyche, my emotions are all in check. And that's what the spiritual bath is going to be for me. It's going to be that sort of just kind of like an emotional cleansing of sorts. And so he sends me the liturgy. And he sent me the liturgy like several months ago. And so I read through it, and it was so beautiful. Like, I was actually in tears just reading what I would be speaking over my life, over my soul, during this whole, during the ritual bath. And so I was like, the people that I would have to forgive, the names I would have to call, like literally, I would have to for real do business. So, but I needed to wait until I could be like, I wouldn't be so busy with everything. I needed like a free space to do that. So that was, of course, after hashtag the Bounce Back RDU. So he gifted me like about 4 days, 3 nights in a hotel. In order for me to be quiet, to be rested, I had to fast for 24 hours before the ritual bath, on what they call a white fast, meaning that I could only have oatmeal for the whole day, oatmeal and water, nothing sweet, nothing salty, nothing savory, nothing artificial. So just oatmeal and water, 24 hours. And then it came time for the night of the ritual bath. I had 7 white candles unscented. I had a white rope that I had to tie the candles together with. I had a white sheet that I had to wrap around myself. I had a bottle of virgin olive oil. And I had the lilies, a bouquet of lilies, because I had to pluck the petals to put in the bath. And then I had 30 gallons of milk delivered to my hotel room in order to fill the tub with the bath. And so I printed out the liturgy. I had my Bible. I had my journal. And so I got in place, filled the bathtub with the milk. I plucked as many lily petals as I could from the bouquet. I opened the bottle of olive oil. I had myself wrapped in the sheet. And then I began to say the prayers, and I began to go through the liturgy, and I began to do business. I had to confess my sins. I had to confess who I was still bearing anger against. I had to, I couldn't rush the process. I just had to really just kind of go in. And then I lit the candles, all 7 of them, and I immersed myself in the milk bath. And I was just to sit there and to meditate on the particular psalms and the scriptures that I was directed to meditate on. Now, the milk was cold. I kept trying to be spiritually centered, but truth be told, I was like, oh my God, this milk is cold. And I had it sitting out for as long as I could. So I was like, so that part was a little difficult. But I did it. And I stayed in the tub until the milk was no longer like frigid, and I could just kind of sit there and I could meditate. And the thing was to just look at the flame, just watch the candles. And then when I was done, I had to take the whole bottle of olive oil and douse it over my head, and pray this prayer of like this anointing prayer over who I am and who God is to me, and it was really beautiful. But then I had to get out of the tub and get in bed and prepare for dreams. I was told to prepare for dreams and to record whatever comes up for me in my dreams. The last directive was to let the candles burn out on their own. So I'm in the bed. The milk bath did not, quote, relax me to this sleepy state. I was like, I'm wide awake, I'm alert. So I'm tossing and turning in bed. I can't get to sleep. I'm really excited about what dreams are going to come. And then when I finally do I drift off to sleep, I turn over, I open my eyes, and there's a big fire plume in the bathroom. The candles, I thought that they were going to burn down like straight, but the flame has now caught hold to the white rope that was tying them all together. And there is this big fire plume in my bathroom, in the bathroom in the hotel. And so I jump out of bed and I go over to it, and then I start to study it. And I'm like, is this holy? Is this a miracle? Moses, he started burning bush and it wasn't being consumed. But it took me a split second to realize, okay, this rope is being consumed. And like, this ain't no miracle. This is like a fire. In a second, you about to wake up the whole hotel. Like the whole hotel is about to be evacuated because you're sitting here looking at this flame talking about is it a miracle? And it's like a freaking fire. So I then, it's kind of raging or whatever. And then there's oil everywhere. There's olive oil everywhere. And so I push the candle, like the lit candles in the bathtub, and I turn the water on, but the flame still won't die out because, again, I was in the tub when I doused the olive oil. And so, like, it's like becoming this whole big mess or whatever. And so I'm like praying, please, God, don't let me burn down this hotel. Please extinguish this flame. Please help me. And then there are lily petals in the tub too. So it's like all kinds of like ways to like keep this fire burning. And so when I turned the water on and I prayed, the fire went out, and I kept the water running just for a little bit longer, just to be sure. And I just fell out laughing. I'm like, okay, Lord, really? For real? That's what we're doing? I'm asking for like, for real? Like I'm sitting here trying to be all serious with you and you being playful with me. I'm about to burn the damn hotel up because I'm looking for something spiritual. So I could not stop laughing. So I get in bed and I go to sleep. And I'm waiting for these dreams. I'm waiting for whatever's going to come. And I wake up and I cracking up laughing still at like almost burning down the hotel. But then I'm also sad because I didn't have any dreams. I didn't have any visions, anything that my friends said that that would happen as a result of me doing this ritual bath. None of those things came to. And so I felt sad because I had spent so much time reading the liturgy and really expecting to have this sort of revelation, like if there was some new insights or just something that I hadn't been seeing, I hadn't been focused on. So I was really, I was disappointed, but grateful that, again, that I did not burn down the hotel and like cracking up laughing that God just kind of considers me like the playful one that like, I'm going to go and tell this crazy story. So then I go to Houston for my grandmother's celebration of what would have been her 93rd birthday, graveside ceremony. And I talked with one of my friends, Trina. Now, Trina is planning this big podcast podcast release, and I am her inaugural guest. And it is notanotherhashtag.com. And so just Trina Productions. And so I was telling her, hey, you won't have access to me, because I'm doing this ritual bath. And she was like, okay, well, call me as soon as the ritual bath is over. I need to know what happens. So I get to Houston and I call Trina. I tell her this story, and she is cracking up laughing. But then I also confessed that I was really sad that I didn't have the vision or the dream that I was looking for. And she said, well, I think I have an interpretation for you. She said the flame was really quiet, which I thought was so funny. Like fire is powerful, but fire is quiet. Fire ain't loud. Like, every time you see a fire on TV, they got a bunch of trucks and sirens and all that kind of stuff. Listen, fire don't get down like that. Fire is powerful and quiet. It just moves confidently. And so she said, I think I have an interpretation. She said, Lex, you on fire. You are fire. You do all of these things on a daily basis. You stay connected. You don't need to go and do something extra because you're looking for something extra, and then like when the extra doesn't materialize and you're like, oh, what? You on fire. There it is. That's your interpretation. And I thought, you know what, Trina, I received that. So I am coming on this, I'm recording this piece because I did it with my cast for our table read on Saturday. They were cracking up laughing, and then I have to tell them another story tonight before our tech rehearsal. So I am having a good time with life and with stories, and I am counting every one of my victories. Nobody had to climb out of their bed to, because I didn't set the damn hotel on fire because I'm trying to not. I'm trying to let candles burn out on the hill. It could have been bad, y'all, but it wasn't bad. It was funny. It was good. The Lord is faithful forever and ever and ever. I highly recommend you cast your lots. And I pray that even when, for those of you who do trust in the Lord, that you would not be brought to shame, that your enemies would not triumph over you, that we would indeed know that God is worthy and all is well.